So I ended off with the guy starting to walk out of nowhere. But I didn't tell anybody. I told one person, and she thought it's possible. And I thought, you're crazy. It's just weird. It's a coincidence. So then in high school, I had these friends who were like the most Christian people I'd ever met. And they really made me want to believe in God. Like, bad stuff would happen to them, and this family would just go off. Like, they just came through it like they were floating. Like, they knew they had struggles, don't get me wrong. Like, it was hard. But they never, ever thought any. They were like, you know what? What's going to happen is going to happen. Like, they were just so like, let's let it go. And I thought to myself, wow, I want that kind of confidence. Like, because my life sucked and I was not happy. And I'd go to church with them for a while. And I remember my grandparents, my mom said, no, we don't like that church. And you can be friends with them, but you're not going to church with them anymore. And so I would try to sneak like sleepovers in where I'd go to church with them, or I'd claim I had to go do something, so I'd go to church with them. And it was just so much work to hide going to their church. And it just was one of those things, like, I never quite felt like I fit in. Like, I wanted to feel what they felt, but I didn't. And I was like, whatever you guys are saying, I just don't. Like, I see you guys do. Like, I get you guys do, but I don't get it. Like, I'm not feeling whatever's like y'all, like, fall over and cry and go down to the front and collapse at the front of I'm not doing that. Like, my body doesn't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Doesn't feel right. So then I was like, okay, well, another friend of mine went to a Baptist church, so I went with her. And it was okay, but, like, again, it was just randomly people would get up and start dancing with scarves around the room, and I was nervous because that was weird. And if you go to church like this, please understand, I'm not judging you. I am saying that for me, this was not a good fit. And I started to realize that the people who love these churches really love these churches. And their faith is really strong. But I knew both of these places were not my place. Neither was the place I grew up. Like, these were not my fit. These were not for me. And I believed wholeheartedly. They believed in God. They were great Christians. But this was not my home. So I got married after some really rough stuff happened in my life. And my ex-husband now was in the Navy, so we moved to Georgia. Well, in Georgia, your church was Southern Baptist. That was it. There might have been other churches, but all I knew around the bases was Southern Baptist. So we went. And again, everybody was so great. And they really felt like they had this connection. And I wanted that connection. But it wasn't happening for me. And I could see things I didn't like about the church, you know? Like, there was things that didn't feel right in my heart. Like, I couldn't agree with them. And I thought, yeah, that's not going to work for me. I just couldn't. I wanted to, I just couldn't. It just wasn't a thing for me. Like, it just didn't feel right. So I kind of gave up on religion. I kind of gave up on God at that point because some really bad stuff happened after that. And all these people that were part of my church family, nobody tried to help me. I had to deal with everything that was going on at the time myself, alone. I had to escape a situation myself with 2 children alone, with no help, no support, no guidance. Everybody just being like, well, she's young. She doesn't understand. No, I understood. I needed help, and nobody was giving it to me. So that also made me a little bit angry, a little bit sore, because these people are such amazing supports to each other. But when you really need help, nobody's there. And I didn't want that. I didn't want that at all. And so I moved home. And honestly, I was working 2, 3 jobs. I didn't have time for church. I just really didn't. And honestly, at that point, so much bad stuff had happened in my life. I was like, you know what? If God's real, he could step off because I'm not interested in whatever it is he's peddling. If God's real, then why did all this bad stuff happen to me? If God's real, I don't want that kind of love, because that kind of love hurts. That kind of love is suck. That kind of love is not anything I want in my life. And I held that firmly for a very long time. I went through another marriage, another divorce, my ex cheating on me, and then saying, oh, well, you were cheating on me. No, I had a really good friend I was trying to support who was a gay man with a transgender girlfriend, and it was a lot, but he wouldn't believe me, and I wasn't going to out my friend to the world. Period, nutshell. So that fell apart. I wasn't cheating on him, but he was definitely cheating on me. And I decided to get back with my ex. That was the first tragedy. And decided to build another tragedy story. And when we were out there, we moved to Colorado. And we lived in Aurora. And everyone my children was friends with at that school was a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Like, all of them. All the girls in the choir, all the guys in the choir, like, everybody my kids are friends with, pretty much, were members. No one ever invited us to church. And I still thought, you have to be a member to go to church. Remember that at 10? Yeah. I still thought you had to be a member to go to church. So I never asked. I knew they were members of the church. I never asked them about it. Because why would I? You have to be a member. And how do you become a member? Nobody knows. So I just never asked. I never asked with Book of Mormon. Never asked about nothing. Also, no one ever offered. So I'm going to put that out there. And so I just didn't do anything about it. And I didn't go to church out there either. Because why? Why would I go to church out there? I was mad at God. And then as stuff was going really wrong in my life again, I was like, here we go again. We're back here again. I mean, I don't know why I thought getting back together with my ex would have a different outcome, but I did. And realistically, just so to put this out there, my ex and I together are horrible together. When we are not together, we can get along just fine. We're respectful. Everything is good. When we get married, like, we can even date and it's good. The second we get married, whatever happens to our brains is toxic. Anyhow, so we're not good for each other, and that's fine. We've realized this. We're never going to be married ever again, and I'm married to someone who I love right now who's amazing. So then when I left him, I went to Illinois. I mean, he came to Illinois initially first, but then he left, which was good. We got a second divorce from each other. And I was miserable, and I was just trying to meet friends. And so I made an ad on Plenty of Fish just looking for friends. So it was like friends only. Was not looking to date, was not looking for partners. Did not ever want to get married or fall in love or deal with men ever again other than being friends. And I'll go to the next part.